now close things out with Adam Hops, who's our technical services coordinator here at NOCoE, and just going to turn things over to him. Adam.
Thank you so much, Nick. I'm going to talk a little bit about a new NOCoE initiative, technical services initiative, best practice reports. We will be releasing these over the next few months. They're going to cover topic areas that are, familiar to us all, but trying to kind of gather up all the practices being done by you, the practitioners, and what's working and what's being shared. That includes a lot of what's mentioned in the TOM. It includes a lot of our own case studies, webinar histories and presentations, and a lot of the great guidance that comes from the Federal Highway Administration as well. So because we're developing our first one here on TSMO Program Plans, at the same time that we're holding this webinar, I thought I'd just go over briefly kind of, what's in the TOM and the guidance. A lot of it is, built upon the presentations, the three presentations that you've seen. So I'm going to talk a little bit sort of higher level and give a few more examples from other states and what they're doing. So, first off, Chapter 5 of the TOM is dedicated to TSMO program planning. It basically defines TSMO program and the plans and what they look like, both the strategic, programmatic, and tactical elements. You heard a lot from our three speakers today about that. And it also talks about planning, sort of beyond the plan, what the beginning is, the implementation aspect, key considerations for each levels of the plan, and the variation that's in the plans based on which agency is doing. So you can see there on the screen, this is Chapter 5. It's in the first part of the TOM, where covers a lot of the institutional needs for TSMO, where the plan comes from before we get to the last half of the TOM, which is the tactical needs. Quick reminder, I think it's in the chat box, but the Transportation Operations Manual is available to all state DOTs, have copies. If you, through your assigned librarian with AASHTO, if you haven't received access, you can reach out to Nick and he can assist with that. So just like everybody else mentioned, the three functions of the TSMO plan, the three areas of strategic, programmatic, and tactical. The TOM kind of breaks it down into exactly the purpose, starting point purpose of the plan, which you heard expressed different ways. So first is articulating the business case, highlighting the value, specifying the non-technical processes of TSMO. We as many states have a lot of TSMO, what we would consider TSMO strategies are already being done in the state before there's even a TSMO program or a TSMO program plan. So this is much more about connecting those services, and then addressing critical roles, responsibilities, and capabilities. A lot of that comes from the workforce aspect and workforce resources, and then identifying resource needs. I was really pleased to hear from the states, from Texas and Ohio specifically, about talking about like identifying those resource needs and the prioritization and performance measurement aspect of things. So that's the overall. Getting into the three elements, just gonna go over a few highlights that as Brian Carey mentioned in the beginning of the webinar, their TSMO strategic plan is pretty exemplary of the strategic elements. It's highlighted in the TOM, and it, especially in how it fits within the Minnesota DOT family of plans. They make sure to do that, and that can be a big function for states, as there's a question on how does this connect to the safety plan, how does this connect to performance management plans that are already being done. That making sure that that's a part of it is a lot of where the guidance from the TOM comes from. Texas DOT, Christine talked about this, is that business case aspect. You saw this in her presentation already, but they do a fantastic job of connecting the goals and how they fit in with the other strategies in the state. The programmatic element, it's typically links those goals and objectives with the actual services, tactical needs. So business processes, performance management, systems and technology needs, workforce and organizational setup, collaboration, communications, culture, and leadership. A lot of that lives within this programmatic element. Defining the work that's going to be done by the TSMO offices. We've seen a couple presentations both on NOCoE and elsewhere on Oregon's TSMO Performance Management Plan as a sort of example of a programmatic aspect that can fits inside of a larger TSMO plan. It was developed in relation to the TSMO plan, but lives a little bit outside of it. Because it outlines in general how the state gathers and collects data from different software systems, not just within TSMO, but that plan again, which is linked to in the TOM, and I can provide a link when we send out the video. It outlines, just basically that relationship from what the goal is to what's actually happening. So the image on the screen is a lot of the performance management stuff that they're picking up from traffic incident management and other strategies that are there. So that programmatic element of plans is done in a number of different ways. Another one to point out would be Pennsylvania. They have, programmatic aspect when it comes to their performance measures as well, and how those performance measures guide their tactical prioritization going forward, and even might even adjust their strategy. Tactical element, again, just as our fantastic preventers talked about, this is really digging into the services, programs, and projects that are being done, but it's not just, single deployment outlines. It definitely staffing and procedures, I know a lot of TSMO program plans that we see include procedures for TMCs, large scale staffing plans for TMCs, staff training, and again, not goes into some of these tactical elements, a plan for that, and so that these things can be deployed. A lot of people, I think Iowa DOT has mentioned a few times, is being R&D'd by everybody else, and they did this so much with their service layer plans, providing like large technical services on their 8 service areas. I think it started maybe with 4 and it's slowly been built up. And this thing, their service layer plans that fulfill the tactical element. There's there's, when you go in and read those, there's assessments on like existing conditions and basically how the TSMO tactical elements can fill in the gaps. And then they also include, I believe most of them, but I think they include a 5-year plan on a cost estimate to reach those goals. So Iowa, in many ways, leading the way in the TSMO program plans. The TOM also talks about, and our best practice report as well. We'll jump into MPOs and TSMO program plans. There's a good example of a number of these. They tend to, since they're not normally owner operators, they tend to benefit from TSMO plans that focus a lot on the strategy part and the tactical part. Up on your screen is from the Treasure Valley TSMO strategic plan from Southwest Idaho, the Compass. And their plan does a great job sort of coordinating all the different services and capabilities that are there. I mean, on the screen, you see kind of calling out what different cities contribute, what different transit agent contributes, what Iowa DOT contributes in that area. And so their TSMO program plan defines the large scale strategy for their area, but that coordination piece is also really important to make, because those tactical elements are coming from all over the place. And so coordinating those all together and what they're capable of has been really important. We've seen TSMO program planning in a number of areas from MPOs be extremely supportive of big initiatives. I know in North Central Texas County of Governments, a lot of the work that they've done on some of their planning has enabled large scale deployments, preparation for planned special events. Same as Oregon Metro. Oregon Metro has a fantastic TSMO program plan that helps to coordinate everything going on in the Portland area. So those are worth reviewing as well for anybody interested in developing a plan for an MPO. Nick, that's going to be the last one I have to share. We put the links to the newsletter in the beginning. These best practices reports from NOCoE will be included in newsletters, start to be published on the website. And as with all things, as people read them, if you have your own examples that you think should be included, please do reach out so that we can add those in.